All right, let's talk about the NBA 2K26 builder. I'm going to be showing you actual builds that I'm planning to make for next year, and I'm going to be giving you all the advice possible. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yes, for the record, VC methods will return if we can find any, but we will be streaming to look for them. So make sure you join the streams to help me look for them. And yes, I'm not gatekeeping at all. So you need to capitalize as quick as possible. And based on last year, don't be afraid to do the VC methods, especially if a million people, 2 million people do it. They're not banning 2 million players on 2K. They won't do it. The 2K won't. They might ban me, but they won't ban everybody, right? Just quick advice. That being said, let me go into these builds because I want to show you some stuff. This first build is my point forward build. I'm gonna go through all these builds, but I want to give you some advice while I explain the builds, right? I'm not saying these are the best builds. I'm just saying these are builds that I'm thinking about making for reasons, right? But let me just give you some wisdom, some advice. First of all, when you make your build, do not make it to be good or for it to require cap breakers to be good. Make it for it to be good right away without cap breakers. This build, in my eyes, as a point forward, is good right away without cap breakers. I don't need cap breakers on this build for it to be good for me, right? For me to enjoy it, right? So that's tip number one. Tip number two, do not make your build right away, right? I recommend, especially if you're watching this video on this channel, grind your VC first. Wait a while, get your VC right. Help me find those VC methods. Then let everybody else in the community make the mistakes, right? Unless you're a content creator, I have to make builds because content creation. But if you're not a content creator, you can get away with it, and so you don't actually have to upload, right? But don't make your builds right away. Let other people make the mistakes, especially because we don't know how the gameplay feels. We don't know what animations will be good. Like an example, this is 6.8.4, right? But I don't know if there's any good animations at 6.8, right? Maybe there is, and maybe the only ball handle that I need is 80 because all the good best animations are below 80, right? Or I might need 86, which means that I have to, figure out a way to get 86 or 87, right? Or whatever the attribute requirement is. So there's certain things you want to wait for. Also, especially for the physicals, we always have to wait because if you overrate strength, if you overrate agility, if you overrate vertical or speed, you might kill your build before you even make it. So allow other people to experiment and figure that out before you make your build. Just best pieces of advice, right? I'll get through and give you more while I'm talking about the other builds, but I want to show you this build because I don't want to bore you. So the reason I went with this build is because I really want to have a high driving layup. I never do with my builds. I always rely on the driving dunk, which kind of always hurts me because you get kicked out of your dunk animation a lot. So I put a high driving layup because I really want to see what it's about, right? Now on top of that, I put a high mid-range shot and the ball handle is going to be good, and then I put the 82 pass accuracy. Now if you're looking at this build, you're going to notice something. I am using very strategic attribute placements, which is my next piece of advice. When you're making your build, look at the badges that the attributes require, right? Or look at the attributes that the badges require and make them around the badges. So, for example, if you want to be a good shooter, set shot specialist is your go-to badge. So maybe you're not a three-point specialist with a 95 three-pointer. So you want set shot specialist on legend as much as possible. So for this build, 89 three-pointer is 10 times more valuable than 88. Because at 89 I get it to gold, which means I can use my max plus 2 tier 1 badge to take it to legend, which is going to improve my shooting the same as going from 83 pointer to like 95 or something ridiculous. Why? I don't know the actual percentages, but it's going to help me shoot a lot better, especially with the pre green window. Yeah. So that's what I mean by that. Look for those valuable badges and add and use your max plus twos on it. Now, here's another tip. If you're struggling to choose between your build specialization, find the badges that best fit you, right? Or the ones that you require, and then look at the attributes. So for this build, I want set shot specialist on legend, but I also want physical finisher, for example, on legend, right? That's two max plus two tier one badges, right? So I have to use a build specialization on one category to be able to get both of those badges to legend, like I want to. So I'm gonna determine which one I want by the attributes. So in other words, if I use the shooting build specialization, yeah, it's good because I get extra cap breakers, but they don't make a big difference. I go to 90 and an 82 three-pointer. That doesn't make a huge difference for me. But with finishing, it does. Because I can take my driving dunk a couple attributes above that and maybe get some better animations. Or I can get my driving layup a couple attributes above that, let's say to 93 driving layup, and I get layup mixmaster on gold, which is just another extra valuable badge that I can use my max plus two tier 2 badge for, right? So that's just a way to determine what you want to use. Now, another thing you can do is try to fix your weaknesses. So perimeter defense is a weakness of mine. So maybe you want to use it there because the cap breakers might increase it from 60 steel all the way to 83 steel or something like that. So there's some value there you got to look for. But you have to pay attention to those things. It's up to you, right? Now, another thing is when you're making your build, consider the tier 2 badges because they can make and break your build. They can actually make your build so much better. So for me, I can put an 80 pass accuracy, right? And put extra attributes in other places, but 82 pass accuracy gets me gold dimer. I'm a point forward. I'm supposed to have dimer, right? But it's a tier 2 badge, which means I can take it straight to legend once I get the tier 2 badge boost, right? Requirement or whatever. So that's what I mean. You have to pay attention to your build, your strengths, what you want to do. Be wise. Look at the attributes. Just a bit of advice there. Now, I think I've given you a lot of the things. I don't want to get too technical, so I just want to show you the builds now. So this is my mid-range slasher, 7-foot wingspan, 6'4", 207-pound build that is gonna have a 99 driving dunk eventually. It's gonna have very good shooting because I'll be able to get legend set shot specialist, right? And then 3-point shot, I'll be able to get to like an 85, hopefully, right? Cap breakers also on this build have a lot of possibilities. I can put him driving dunk. I can put him on ball handle. I don't know about speed with ball. I don't know what difference it would make. But overall, the build can also play defense. Here's another bit of advice. Please put some defense on your build. You don't want to be an absolute trash can on defense. You don't. So yeah. But this is a build that I could use, especially because it's going to be good off the ball. I'm going to be able to do catch and shoot with the set shot specialist on legend, which I do plan to use. And the 99 driving dunk is just a scary thing to go up against because nobody wants to get put on a poster. But I'm going to put people on posters. So, yeah, this is just the build that I made. If you guys like it, let me know. If you don't, then we'll move on. The next build that I have is actually my lockdown. So this is actually a very good lockdown in my opinion, which actually I made this build contrary to one of the advices that I gave you, which was to not make your builds based on the cap breakers. But I did with this build because there is no other way to make this lockdown where it's actually valuable, right? Now, the cool part about this build is this one opens up a different window. See, my shooting is 83 pointer and 80 driving dunk. That's the other two categories, right? And even the ball handle is only 81. There is no other attributes that are super high that I could use through the build specialization to help myself or to benefit my player, right? So I would actually recommend if you're going to be a specialist in one category with your build to just use your cap breakers and your build specialization on that specific category. Because with the cap breakers, I can get my steel to 96 as quick as possible, or I can get my perimeter defense as quick as possible to 96, which means that when I unlock my first set of cap breakers, I might be able to get 99 steel and a 97 or 96, maybe 98 perimeter defense, right? Which means my build will be very good right away because of the build specialization, right? And then obviously having extra tier 1 max plus 2 badges for the same category when that's supposed to be your strength is amazing. So for example, I'll be able to take, let's say I go with steel and I put extra cap breakers on it and I get my glove badge to whatever it's called, tier 2, right? Or not tier 2, to 96, which gives me Hall of Fame. I don't know why my brain's thinking about tier 2, right? So I get my glove badge to Hall of Fame. I can use my tier 1 max plus 1 to take it to legend. Huge. Or I can take my interceptor to legend. Huge, right? But then I can use my max tier 2 or my max tier 1 plus 2 badge on challenger and on ball menace because I have 2 of them, right, on defense, and take my build to legend right away. Now I don't have to use the cap breakers to get that point, which means the cap breakers I can use on something like block or rebound, which will go up in an increment amount, which means that my block might go from 49 to 80 or my rebound from 60 to 80 or something like that, right? So there's value. I'm not saying that's what you're supposed to do, but you can capitalize on that. That's why if your build is specializing in one category, just attribute-wise when you make it, I hope that doesn't sound too complicated, specialize in it as well, please, right? It's going to benefit you a lot more. Also, you're making a lockdown, speed, agility, strength. Even if they're not as good next year, we don't know yet, they're going to be good for you, I promise, right? That's just a bit of advice. They're going to be good for you, I promise. Now, after this is the point guard that I came up with. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the best point guard, but this is just what I came up with. Obviously, eventually you get the 99 three-pointer. You get a 90 driving layup with physical finisher. Again, I don't know why I like physical finisher. For some reason, my head is thinking that it's going to be good. I don't know, right? Defense is decent. Speed, agility is decent. Ball handle and speed with ball, it's pretty good. you know, and you get a couple badges that you can take to that next level. You get a couple decisions. Obviously, with 3 point shooting, you can use a couple of your shooting attributes. And I actually think with this build, you have three possibilities of your use your build specialization, and you wouldn't be wrong. But I definitely think with guards, you're gonna want to go with shooting. Like, trust me, you're gonna want to go with shooting. Trust me, right? Because you're gonna be able to get. I mean, I guess once you get 99 3 pointer, it's kind of irrelevant. So you don't want to use your max plus two tier one badges on this, right? So maybe you don't go because of that. If you know the cap breakers take you straight to 99, so you might want to go with like playmaking, right? Which will take your ball handling to the next level. It might be able to take your pass accuracy to a whole different level. Which actually, if you have an 82 pass accuracy, I don't know what it is, but if you use, let's say, three cap breakers on it, you might be able to take it all the way to like 92 or something like that. If that's the case, then yeah, there's some value in all these builds, but that's just a point guard build that I made. I'm not a point guard, but that's just something that I made just based on attributes. I think it's going to be okay, if you can make something like that. After that, I made this mid-range slasher, 6'6", 6'6" wingspan, which is one of my funniest builds because it's not necessarily great defensively, but one day I plan to make this build because I'm going to get a 99 mid-range and a 99 driving layup and some good dribbling and some good speed, some good animations, and I'm going to be able to shoot, obviously, with 99 mid-range. I believe I get set shot specialist on legend regardless, right? Which means I can use my cap breakers on my three-point shooting and get that thing up to like 84, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, 82, you know, whatever it lets you take it up to, which is just going to be fun. Like, this is going to be one of my funner builds. I'm not saying you should make this, but eventually one day I'm probably going to make something very close to this just because I want a build that has a 99 midi and a 99 layup or dunk. Just because I love, you know, that combination of if they don't let you drive, you just shoot over them, right? And if they guard too close, you shoot, you know, you just drive around them. So that's just an extra build that I thought was kind of fun. Anyways, passing that build, we get to the center build, which is something I should have talked about right away because I'm 12 minutes into the video and I'm barely getting to the center position. But I'm making a 7'4" center. I don't know what the attributes will look like. I don't know what the speed will look like. I don't think you'll be able to get 60 speed. You might cap like at 55 or something like that at lowest weight possible. But if you can get anything near these type of attributes at 7'4", oh, I'm going with it. Because with cap breakers, I'm going to get my rebounding badges all to where I want them to be. Yes, box out beast is not a badge that I will be able to get, which absolutely sucks. But when you're 7'4" with the long wingspan, box out beast can be a nightmare, but that height advantage is so useful, especially on the offensive end, because in the post, nobody can guard you. Size really matters, right? And if people go with smaller guards, that difference between, let's say people make 7-footers, right? The difference between a 7'3" versus a 7-footer is noticeable. But once you go to 7'4", it's insane. And I know this because of my team, right? In my team, a 7'4" player dog walks even the 7'3s. That every inch after 7 feet is insane in terms of animation, what you can get away with. Trust me, the 7'4" builds are going to be overpowered. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to be the first builds to be nerfed. The 7'4" post control, post scorers, they're going to be hitting some ridiculous shots, doing some ridiculous things, and no one's going to be able to guard them. I'm telling you right now, man, that's what's going to happen, right? But if I can make any build at 7'4" with these type of attributes, I'm going to do it. Why? Well, because set shot specialist and the max plus 2, I'm going to be able to get it to gold right away, or not gold, Hall of Fame right away, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about. Wow, Hall of Fame set shot specialist at 7'4", with an even if your 3-point caps at 70, right? With the custom takeover, you can benefit. Oh my goodness, there's so many things you can do with this build. Yeah, it's kind of awesome, right? So yeah, and then the tier 2 badges, you have a bunch of tier 2 badges you can use. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Like Dimer. Is there any other badge that I can use tier 2? Oh yeah, intercept. Oh my god, bro, I'm gonna hold up. Wait a minute, I just realized something, bro. With the tier 2 max plus 2 badge, at 7'4", if I can get a 60 steal with the max wingspan, which I should be able to, and let's say that's the requirement for interceptor, I'm going to be able to have a gold interceptor with, yes, a 60 steal rating, but at 7'4" with the ridiculous wingspan. Oh my goodness, yeah, y'all going to hate the 7'4" builds, bro. I'm telling you right now. Y'all going to hate the 7'4" build. Oh my goodness, that's disgusting. Next up, I'm just going to show you this build. I'm not really going to dive into it. This is my KD build. Don't think it's going to be great, but this is just catch and shoot, catch, maybe drive a little bit, be able to play a little bit of defense, a little bit of rebound. kind of build. Not necessarily the best build, but I just thought it was kind of cool. That's why I'm showing it to you. But yeah, that 7'4" center with the 60 steel, I might have to make a video on this alone because that is so ridiculous to get that gold interceptor at 7'4" with that type of wingspan. Mind-boggling, bro. I am mind-boggling. That's ridiculous. Anyways, that's the end of the video. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Goodbye. Take care.